Alright, today we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines, as you know, look something like this, right? They go alongside each other. So if we were to say, check out its slope, it's going positive 1 over 2, positive 1 over 2. So when they're parallel, they have the same slope. That's the key word there, same. If they're perpendicular, perpendicular means something very specific, not just crossing, but crossing at a right angle. So when we say perpendicular, we want the slopes to be both opposite and reciprocal. So that's a tough one because those are some interesting words, right? Opposite and reciprocal. So let's say I gave you the slope of 3/4. Opposite would say, if this is positive, I want negative. Reciprocal says, if it's 3 over 4, I want 4 over 3. Opposite and reciprocal. So what's tough about this worksheet is at first it just seems frustrating because these are opposite but not reciprocal. And unfortunately the first two are the exact same. They're neither. And right here, number 6 and 1/6, those are reciprocal, but they're both positive. So it's also neither. What do you think about these next two? So once again, we can see they are reciprocal, 4/7 and 7/4, but they're both positive. And this next one, one's positive, one's negative, but they're not reciprocal. Oh, Cooper, why are they all neither? Sorry, it's just what happens. So all this is to point out the fact that it can't just be opposite and it can't just be the reciprocal, it must be both, like number 6. Do you see that we have a 5, which technically is a positive 5 over 1, and then we have this negative 1/5, so a positive and a negative, and it's 5 over 1, 1 over 5, so right here, this one is perpendicular. Number 6 is perpendicular. But we can see number 7 is 11/12 and 11/12. They're the exact same, so they are parallel. Can you label the next 3? Maybe you pause and think about it. All right, well, looking at number 8, we have a positive 6 and a positive 1/6. They are reciprocals, but not opposites, so neither. And then on our last two, 11/12 and 11/12 are the exact same, and 3 are the exact same, so they're both parallel. So the first page, not my favorite, but the next page is, because we have to write it ourselves. So right here we have a slope, and they're going to ask us for the parallel slope and the perpendicular slope. Parallel means it's going to be the exact same, and perpendicular means we're looking for opposite and reciprocal. So they gave us a slope of 3 over 7. So parallel would be 3 over 7. But perpendicular, if it's positive, I want negative. If it's 3 over 7, I want 7 over 3. Number 12 right here, number 2 is 12, so its parallel would be 12, and if that's positive, I want negative. 12 over 1 is 1/12. Right here we have an 11, so slope is parallel is 11, and perpendicular is a negative 1/11. Can you do the rest of these? Why don't you pause real quick and see if you can find the parallel and perpendicular. Well, I hope you did. So right here is our parallel. So 2/5 would be 2/5, and perpendicular would be negative 5/2. Parallel would be 7, perpendicular would be negative 1/7. To 2/9, parallel would be 2/9, perpendicular would be negative 9/2. To 7/10, parallel would be 7/10, perpendicular would be negative 10/7. 9/11 would be 9/11 and negative 11/9. 2/9 and negative 9/2. Whoops, almost got too fast. And the last one we have 3 and negative 1/3. So why do we need to know this? We need to know it because they're going to say, here's a point and here's an equation, and you have to write an equation that is parallel. This whole page is parallel. So we want the exact same slope. So in this case, I'm going to circle these slopes because this is the slope and I want it to be the exact same. All right, so our equation, as you can see, is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, which we already did on the previous lesson. So hopefully you are well practiced. We're going to use this point, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I'm going to rewrite it to simplify. Y minus 5 equals a negative 7/6 x plus 1. Then I'm going to distribute. Y minus 5 equals a negative 7/6 x and then minus 7/6. And then I'm either going to add or subtract. That says y minus 5, so I'm going to add 5. Sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and look at what I already got. So my answer would be y equals negative 7/6 x plus 23/6. You can put that straight into your calculator. Again, the free app is Calculate 84. Free for all. You should do it. All right, my next equation is y minus y1 equals m and then x minus x1. Love it when it's whole numbers. There's nothing to simplify, so we're going to go straight to distribution. So we're going to negative 3 times x is negative 3x, and a negative times a negative is a positive. And then, because it says y minus 3, we're going to add 3 on both sides. So y equals negative 3x plus 6. I suggest you pause and try these next two on your own. I hope you did. Here we are. We have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Again, because there's a double negative, I highly recommend you rewrite your simplified form to x plus 1, or you could just, make a big plus. But I'm trying to show my steps, so here we are. So we have y minus, we're going to distribute 1/3 x and then plus 1. And then I'm going to add 2. Ooh, 1/3, Cooper. Sorry. Then we're going to add 2 to that. And so that's why it's going to be y equals 1/3 x plus 7/3. One more parallel. So we've got y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we've got y minus 0 equals our 1/3 x plus 4 to just simplify. Now I'm going to distribute. Oops. So y minus 0 equals 1/3 x plus 4/3. And then because it says y minus 0, we're going to add 0 to both sides. So y equals 1/3 x plus 4/3. Okay, so that was how to do it with parallel. On the very back page, we have how to do it with perpendicular. So as you can see, again, our perpendicular is going to be whenever we have opposite and reciprocal. So this time my slope is 2, so my perpendicular slope will be a negative 1/2. Right? We don't want 2, we want perpendicular, which is opposite and reciprocal. So right here, this is a negative 1. This one's kind of tricky. It's a negative 1/1, so the perpendicular slope would be a positive 1/1 or just 1. Right here we have a negative 7/3. Can you tell me what the perpendicular slope would be? That's right, since it's negative, we now have positive. Instead of 7/3, we have 3/7. And what about this negative 3? So it's technically negative 3/1, so it's going to be a positive 1/3. All right, now we're ready. So we're going to use that same equation, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 with our point. So we've got y minus y1 equals, be careful, over here, this perpendicular slope, negative 1/2 x minus 0. I'm going to really focus and not get the wrong slope. So we're going to simplify. That's going to be y plus 2 equals negative 1/2 x minus 0. We're going to distribute y plus 2 equals negative 1/2 x plus 0. And negative times negative is a positive. And then we're going to subtract 2. So our answer is y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2. Next question, we have y minus y1 equals our slope, which is 1, x minus x1. Oh, this one's so sweet and simple. I love it. There's no double negatives, so we're just going to distribute. Y minus 3 equals 1 times x is 1x, and 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. And y minus 3, so we're going to add 3 on both sides, and so our answer is y equals x minus 1. If you had 1x minus 1, it's not wrong. You could pick it out of a multiple choice. One more time, I suggest you pause and try this yourself. So we did y minus y1 equals, be careful, your slope is a positive 3/7 x minus x1. No double negatives, so we're just going to straight distribute. Y minus 5 equals this negative, 3/7 x, and that would be minus 0, because anything times 0 is 0. And then we have y minus 5, so we're going to add 5. And so y equals 3/7 x plus 5. Last question. So we've got y minus y1 equals our slope, 1/3, perpendicular slope, x minus x1. So we've got to deal with this double negative. Y minus 4 equals 1/3 x plus 1. Now I can distribute. Y minus 4 equals 1/3 x plus 1/3. And then it says minus 4, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And so I'm going to get y equals 1/3 x plus 13/3. Thank you for your work today.